Welcome back to your Fantasy Football Buddies. I'm Jeff Ellis.
I'm Steven Miranda for Tuesday, September 27th, 2011.
Scoring is still way up, but player injuries are also way up.
Yeah, that's not good as players go down. We're going to tell you the significant injuries that you should keep an eye on for Week 4.
We've got your hot waiver wire pickups for Week 4. We go through quarterbacks, wide receivers, running backs, and tight ends.
And in fantasy football for James, we'll take a look at Jeffrey. 2 important things.
No, not 3 important things.
Two important things. We'll get to
you
that.
Stick around for that.
But first is a big question that everybody in fantasy football is asking: is it time to part ways with Mike Vick?
I say it all depends on if you rolled with him to begin with. If you rolled with him out of the gate, you might as well stay with him for at least another week. He's got an easier matchup with the 49ers this week. And look, if he doesn't work for you this week, he ain't ever going to work for you.
Here's the thing. I told you shouldn't have drafted Mike Vick in the beginning. I avoided him like the plague everywhere, and now you're having to deal with those consequences. The thing is, his value is dropping. So if you're going to do a deal, it's got to be now, because if he stinks it up against the San Francisco 49ers, you are not going to be able to trade him. You're not going to get any value for him. So I think if you're even thinking about doing it, you should do it now, prior to the San Francisco 49ers.
Hold the trigger now or forever hold your peace. Significant injuries to keep your eye on for Week 4, Steven.
Not good. Kenny Britt, Tennessee Titans wide receiver. He was off to a phenomenal season. He's out for the season with tearing both his MCL and ACL in his knee.
Yuck. New York Jets, Mark Sanchez broke his nose. The beautiful boy of GQ magazine fame.
It's not going to be so pretty anymore.
Not for a little while.
At least
he's going to wear a shield.
He's going to wear,
and he didn't look like it affected him at all. How did it look to you, Steven?
I'm not quite sure because the Jets were not on the field that much. The Raiders just kept running the ball.
That's true, and it's not like Sanchez is a hot play anyway.
Philadelphia quarterback Mike Vick. Here it is again. Right hand contusion. Fortunately, it's not broken.
What's it going to be next week?
I don't know.
We don't know.
Maybe ribs next time.
Ribs.
Oh, gosh. Jeffrey thinking about ribs. Right. Arizona Cardinals running back Beanie Wells missed last week with his hamstring injury, Jeff. Something that you got to – he was a late scratch, so you definitely have to keep your eye on that one.
Finally, Arian Foster again. We don't know. They're starting him a little bit. They're mixing in a little bit of Ben Tate, but – the bottom, and Steve Slayton's still getting touches. It's kind of a mess there right now in Houston.
It is. I would say, you know what, until you know for sure that he is 100% ready to go, I would stay away from Arian Foster. All right, Jeffrey, some hot waiver wire pickups. In a minute, we'll give you some names that we've given you before. Here are some new ones for Week 4. Quarterback Matt Hasselbeck of the Tennessee Titans. He's available in 82% of leagues, Jeff.
I want to know what's so wrong with 20 points, 17 points, and 20 points at the quarterback spot.
That's pretty consistent.
It is. And yes, Kenny Britt went down. However, it's not like they don't have other people to throw to, because they do.
That's
and
right.
Hasselbeck, unless he's injured, it's one heck of a quarterback.
Yeah, and you know what? You want consistency at that position. You don't want 35 one week and 5 the next.
Tony Romo, I think, this week.
Ouch. So there you go. Matt Hasselbeck is available to you if you need a quarterback. Running back positions, we say Thomas Jones. Last week we gave you Dexter McCluster there for the Kansas City Chiefs. This time Thomas Jones, he's not available in many leagues, only in 15% of leagues.
But he's still out there.
And he's the guy. He's getting a lot of the carries right now.
Finally, something really surprising came out of the Dallas Cowboys game last night against Washington Redskins, where we saw Tim Hightower more or less lose his starting gig to Roy Helu, and it seemed like a pretty consistent running back by committee situation they're developing in Washington.
Yeah, Roy got a lot of carries and especially a lot of passes out of the backfield. He's still available in 70% of the leagues. You should check him out. Wide receivers, since Kenny Britt is out for the season with the injury, Nate Washington becomes pretty sexy. He's only available in 9% of leagues? Or he's
available in 91. He's only owned in
9% of leagues.
It's crazy. Go get him.
So he's going to see his workload increase.
He deserved to be on your roster before Kenny Britt went down. And now, forget about it. Now, rookie Torrey Smith had a little coming out party yesterday. Did he not this weekend?
It was a breakout game, 3 touchdowns, over 150 yards. He's available in 99% of leagues.
And, Steven, actually, he's owned in 0.02% of leagues. I just rounded off.
Don't expect the same performance from him every week, but he is obviously going to start seeing a lot more targets there with the Baltimore Ravens, and when Flacco is on, he will be a good.
Now, he's injured his hamstring last week, so if you're going to pick him up, you're not going to start him this week. You're going to sit him and watch and wait there. Now, players quickly that we mentioned previously. Jason Campbell, 67%. Great matchup this week against the Patriots defense.
Dexter McCusker, running back for the Kansas City Chiefs, still available in 60% of leagues.
Eric Decker, wide receiver, Denver Broncos, 35% out there. Catches and targets are increasing.
He was the hot pickup last week, over 58% additions for Eric Decker.
People go, oh, he got 6 points. But his catches went up.
That's right. He is starting to see more targets with Eddie Royal out. He's a good pickup.
And why on earth is Scott Chandler still out there in most leagues?
Guy still just scores touchdowns.
He's in Buffalo, and so that means that nobody pays attention. All right, fantasy football for James. We're going to quickly take a look at the bye weeks coming up, Steven.
In week 5, bye weeks begin. That
Are you listening, James?
Yeah. He's like, no. But here's the problem. You start looking at your bye weeks now. You don't wait till the last minute like, oh, my God, I've got 3 buys.
That's what James does.
Yes.
You're not that guy.
Don't do that. Start planning ahead now. If there's some matchups that you're going to need to look up for next week, this is the time that if you can make some roster moves, pick up for your bye week.
Now, last thing, I'm going to throw myself under the boat here in the bus here. I have one team that I play in where I am in 12th place out of 12. I am 0-3. My season looks pretty much done.
Yuck.
My roster is horrible, been decimated by injuries. You know what, though? You keep playing.
You do.
It is not fair to the other owners in the league that are pouring tons of time and sometimes money into these things for you to crap on your team.
Keep managing your football field. Don't be the guy that throws out a roster out there and 3 guys have a bye week that week. It's not fair to the other players that are still competing. Keep managing your roster.
And if the manager of that league is around and is noticing, which he is, he's not going to invite you to play next year.
All right, I'm Steven Miranda.
Jeff Ellis.
For your Fantasy Football Buddies.